everybody, and a very warm welcome back to the latest episode of Hidden Jewels of Soul and Disco. You might see a little change in the setup. You will see my living room lamp way more closer than usual. That's because, and I'm totally serious when I'm telling you this, I have to move furniture because I'm getting a new turntable, which will be a major upgrade for me, and therefore I need to move furniture. I'm serious, but I will discuss this with you and show you everything once the turntable is here, but that's part of another video. Also, I wanted to point out this upcoming Saturday at 6 p.m. GMT, which is my local time up here in Germany, we'll be having our next soul stream. And it took a long time for us to find a day where we all three could fit in, and it's done now, and we are so looking forward to it. And we will be discussing Southern Soul. So I hope each and every one of you who is into soul or having a good time discussing vinyl and records and soul music will join us on Saturday at 6 p.m. GMT. This week we will be featuring an artist I had the pleasure of doing an interview with and getting a more in-depth look why he suddenly appeared from the music scene. So this week we are featuring Samuel Jonathan Johnson. Why Sam's only album became a kind of cult album and why he disappeared from the music scene once his album was released, well, we'll discuss this after some needle drops.
Sweet love. You always came out strong. Whoa. As time has passed and things have changed.
When Sam was 14 years old, he started to play the organ and was very heavily influenced by his mother, who was an active church singer and goer, and so he kind of very early on got into gospel music. Sam always pointed out how talented his mother was. Unfortunately, there are no recordings of his mother singing. I would have loved to hear that. When he was 16, his family moved to New York, and he also got very active in the church community and played music. By 19, he got into the army and was well made aware of jazz music. And he kind of got into a style which led him to jazz chords and gospel chords, and he made that his very own style. And when he got out of the army, he also made a group which was called Spontaneous Combustion. During that time, the group opened for acts like the Jackson 5. But nothing more really got out of it. And in 1978, Sam got his chance. He was discovered by no other than John Hammond, the John Hammond. John Hammond discovered people like Duke Ellington, Billie Holiday, Aretha Franklin, Bruce Springsteen, George Benson, just to name a few. And Sam was actually the last artist he signed before John got into retirement. So you have kind of idea how talented Sam is. Let's talk about the debut, shall we? All right. This is it. My music. And honestly, the first time I've heard it, I was kind of, well, yeah, it's for the year when it was done and released, it was kind of something in between. I couldn't really figure out what it was. And Sam told me, well, with this album, he was kind of way off its time, ahead of its time, and that's for sure. Because decades later, hip-hop people, people who love jazz, who kind of love a mixture of these artists, got into this and sampled it. And this led to the fact that this record I bought for 30 bucks, which is a promo copy actually. You can see that on the back, and that was Mighty Gritter saying goodnight. It's a stamped promo. Look at him, isn't he a cutie? And this is the front, and here is the record. This is the A side, and this is the B side. So this record I bought for 30 bucks a couple of years ago is now a record which you can find at a starting price of 80 euro or up to more. I even saw it for $180. I've seen it for way more also, but if you find a copy which is under $100, go and get it. If you are like these kind of fusion things, very mellow, there's one upbeat song on it which I very much like, this is a record for you to go. You can also find it on Spotify, you can find it on YouTube, so you can have a listen of this whole album. What happened? Well, when this thing was released, and I mentioned it earlier, it was ahead of its time. So it was more well received in European instead of the United States, where it actually didn't do much. And so Sam said, well, maybe my music isn't what the mainstream likes. And also at the same time his mother got ill, so he made the decision to take a sabbatical time off and take care of his mother, what he did for quite some time. He worked in a theater, he became a musical director, and he's now getting back into the music business as he knows and sees how well loved his music is nowadays. Next to doing this album, also he was busy as a songwriter. He wrote for the Soul Searchers, and he also wrote for one of my favorite disco albums, which you get tremendously cheap, by the way. This is Sweet Cream. We all know this album cover, right? Where this idea has been taken from. And I always thought about why not starting a collection where I collect all the variations of the Herb Abbott original, but yeah, this is Sweet Cream, and Sam took part in songwriting of Let's Get It Done, of the second song on Pretty Little Black Boy, and Do a Dance for Love, which was also released as a single. So here are the ladies on the back who did the vocals. And yeah, it's a great album, Sweet Cream, and if you get it, buy it. It's not expensive, I hope. I haven't checked lately, but I got this for 10 bucks, and so I can't imagine that it's now raised up in price. No way. So if you see that, go get it. It's a great disco album. And yeah, unfortunately, there's nothing more to say about Sam. He's doing successful collaborations with other artists at the moment, and I do hope that he gets his chance to have really his big breakthrough, because he deserves it, as many other artists as well. So once again, a rather short episode. I'm sorry about this, but when there is nothing more to say, then there's nothing more to say. So once again, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time, maybe on Saturday, and goodbye.